Guys, Patrick Freeman here in Chongqing, China. We just got back from our 7-day trip and I'm working on some videos. I saw a post this morning from a friend who lives near the Yangtze River, and the river had risen substantially here in Chongqing, so I'm going to actually delay uploading those videos. I thought it was more pressing and more important to just let you know what's going on here in Chongqing. I'm headed up to a platform where we can see the river from a little bit higher perspective, and then I'm going to walk along this sidewalk over here to show you how the water's affecting actually some businesses, some bars, restaurants, and mahjong parlors. So mahjong is a game that they like here. It's kind of like poker here, or like poker in the United States or in the West. But I just wanted to show you what's going on here. It's very serious, and just wanted to give you kind of on the ground perspective. I know there's a lot of news out there, news agencies, and even YouTubers who don't seem to be, adhering to the journalist creed. I mean, you think about YouTubers, we are in a sense journalists, and we're reporting on whether it's our own lives or how to do something or news that's going on. And I don't see a lot of responsibility. I don't see responsible reporting. And so what I want to do is just show you via video what's going on at least in this area. And I will say Chongqing City has been fortunate in that it hasn't been impacted as bad as some other places, and we'll talk about that shortly. But guys, welcome to this video. I appreciate all your support, all your prayers, and let's get started. I am south of downtown Chongqing in the Nanping district, and I forget the name of the road here, but I'll give you the name of the road shortly. I'll put it on the screen for you. But I wanted to come out and just do a quick video and give you an update on the flooding that's going on in Chongqing. And I do want to make a clarification on Chongqing itself. So Chongqing is actually considered a city and a province simultaneously. Chongqing itself, like this area and the area that I'm in, has about a population of 9 million people. But the province, simultaneously with the city, is about 30 plus million. So a lot of people will kind of get it confused when they hear all the news about the flooding and Chongqing being flooded. The city itself is getting some flooding. It actually today is the most water that I've seen in this river since I've been here. And another guy that I know on WeChat, he actually lives just a little bit further down there. He posted some pictures on WeChat today, and he's been here for over a decade, and he said it's the highest that he's ever seen it in a decade. So I wanted to come down here and just give you a bird's eye view, but also I'm going to go down to the river itself, or close to the river, at least as close as I can get, and show you what the flooding looks like. I do want to mention that this has been a second very large tragedy that is happening here in China. Obviously the coronavirus was the first thing, and this has been kind of like the double punch uppercut to China. And there's people, literally millions of people down this river, on this river, past the Three Gorges Dam that have just been impacted. I believe there's been over 200 people that have died or they're missing. Farms have been destroyed, businesses have been destroyed, villages have been destroyed, and it's a very sad situation here to have this double punch happen within a very short period of time. So guys, I want to ask you to do me a huge favor and just keep China in your prayers. Keep Chongqing and all the provinces that are being impacted by this flood. Please keep them in your prayers. I mean, I've been here for 2 years, and I've grown to really appreciate and love the people here, and it's just a sad tragedy to see this happening, another tragedy happening again. So please lift them up in your prayers, keep them in your thoughts, and hopefully this will all be over soon. And for those of you in my home country, the United States, I lift you up every single day, every single morning in prayer. So I know you guys are experiencing some difficulties, some division, and still dealing with the coronavirus, and just know that I'm praying for you. And I love you guys. I love every single one of you, and regardless of what country you're in. All right, having said that, let me give you some shots of the river from here, and then we'll go down closer to the river to give you a better idea. But down there, you can see people right on the sidewalk. Usually the water is about, I would say, 15 to 20 feet below that sidewalk, and it's almost cresting above it. There are some other areas like Raffles City, a lot of the sidewalks and levels have been flooded. The beach where I sat and did that, I think it was, the title of the video was Americans Protesting in China. I'll put a link for it if you want to look at it. But I was literally doing the Chinese squat on the beach, and that beach has been flooded, and it's probably about, I want to say maybe 8 to 10 feet above where I was sitting. So it's crazy how much water is down here. As far as places being flooded, just the places that are right on the river. More in particular, there's a fish market or wet market that's a little bit further up. You can't see it around the corner there, but just around that corner is a fish market that has definitely been flooded. I've seen pictures on WeChat that have been posted. So there are parts of Chongqing City, again, pardon the wind here, it's starting to pick up. But as far as Chongqing City, yeah, they're starting to get more than they have, and more so than they've had probably in 20 years. I think the last big flood was around 2008. And then there was one, and I think in that one there was like 3,000 people that died. And it wasn't actually in Chongqing, I think it was further upriver. But I'm talking about just floods in general. But you can see this river is flowing. Normally there's rocks out there that you can see in the river. You can't see those rocks, the water's way above it. And the water is flowing very fast too. Okay, I'm down on street level now. Just got to give you an idea of where I was at earlier. I was just right up there on a viewing platform. It's kind of a little tourist spot, lights up at night, and you can see the entire city. But I'm now down on the street level, and let me just show you how close the water is. I mean, this is, like I said, this is the highest that I have seen it here in Chongqing. Normally, it's about 15 to 20 feet below this. It's another maybe, I'd say 7, 8 feet, and then it could possibly start coming over into this this main road here. So it's not far off from starting to bleed into the street. And I don't know if this is the crest of it. What actually prompted me to come do this video was the guy that I mentioned earlier that lives down that way. He had posted it this morning, so possibly sometime today, maybe this evening, it'll crest, and hopefully won't come any further than this, or it's at least crested already. But this, to me, this is just amazing, and I can't imagine what people upstream and downstream are experiencing in this amount of water, this deluge of water that has been poured on this country in the southwestern part, south central part of China. It's just, I've never seen it this full. And one thing that I have noticed is all the boats, the cruise boats, are all docked. So I don't know if they're able to go out or not. There is one boat out there in the water that is going upstream. Let me zoom in on him for you. He's right there. I don't know if that's kind of like a patrol boat or what, but this is a ton of water. Again, 15, and I'm being conservative, 15 or 20 feet below this is usually where the river is. And you can see, let me zoom in on for those engineers that want to see where the water level is. I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's 190, I don't know what that is. I'll find out. I'll do some research, or somebody can comment and tell me, hey, well, this is what this means. But it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. You can hear the subway under the bridge going across. I actually cross that almost daily when I go to school. I go there and then back up this way. Well, let me do some walking around, give you some more shots of the river. A little surviving plant there. Wow, just crazy. You might have a question about downtown being flooded. That's a mountain that downtown is built upon. Like that one really tall building right there, that is probably, the base of it is actually probably about where that base is. So it's a good, I'd say 80 to 100 feet above the water. Be interesting to find out if any of the parking lots have been flooded, but most of them again are relatively further above the river itself. Now this to me is just shocking to see this. These are, I guess, old cruise boats, river boats, They might have even been hotel, had little hotel rooms on them. But normally these boats are about 20 feet below where I'm standing. I mean, you can see the rooftops and look down on top of the roof, but they're at eye level here in this part of the river. I saw this picture. It's an advertisement. I'm not for sure exactly what it's advertising, but so I'm somewhere in this vicinity, and you can see how far the water is below. You've got these drainage plugs here, or holes that come from the streets, and these places, I don't know if you can see it, but these buildings right here, they're still below the street level, but these buildings, and I'm going down there right now, these are flooded. I just noticed it, and these are like bars, restaurants, mahjong places where they play they play mahjong all the time. But yeah, I mean, you can see it's got to be more than 20 feet that this water has come up that far, but it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. As a side note, Cuicui and Cuicui and I live on the other side of this mountain, so we're at a higher level, fortunately. And even if we lived here, we probably wouldn't have anything to worry about unless there's, another, bout of storms that come through and cause more flooding. But this is just amazing to see this, how high it is. I just want to give you perspective there. Just about 6 feet below that water line, 7 feet below that water line, were chairs, patio furniture, and it's all been covered, or at least the patio itself has been covered. But, and I know I'm repeating myself, but this boat had to be 20 plus feet down, if not more, and now it's at eye level, and it's just so strange to see that. You can see actually the couches and the chairs, the bar stools and equipment that are in some of these restaurants below this deck right here have been pulled out and put up here on this deck. You got electronics, fans, TVs, mic stands, all sorts of stuff, wiring. So it sounds like they might have had a little bit of warning to get their stuff out. Doesn't look like any of it got wet. But a lot of picture takers out here today taking pictures of how high the river is. This area actually, for me, is a very special area because when I came here a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, and spent 3 weeks, had a 3-week vacation here. I actually stayed in, there's a hotel right here. I stayed in that hotel and celebrated New Year's here, and it was just an amazing experience. Actually, it's like one of my first or second videos that I ever did. So if you get a chance, check that out. But it's a very special place to me because of my first experience in China and, falling in love with the country, the food, the culture, and making the decision to move out here. So it's just sad to see, like businesses under here have been hit. I mean, here, let me show you the roof. So yeah, these are the little overhangs of these businesses, and you can see all along here. I mean, they've got to be up almost to the roof of below my feet. It's just amazing. I would say the width of this river has probably grown by, on either side, maybe 80 yards on each side. And I will say that Chongqing has been spared, considering what other villages and cities have received upstream and downstream from here, more so past the dam, where entire cities have been hit, villages have been hit, farms have been hit. It's just been a devastating, and there's been 4 major floods here, so devastating for this country. Curious to see what it's going to do to the food supply, because I know, again, a lot of farms have been knocked out. So we might definitely see a shortage, possibly an increase in food prices. But yeah, this is the Yangtze River, and it is high.